It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Happy Friday. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside Kevin McIntosh. Glad to be back with you once again, Kevin, as we wrap up the week.
Feeling great, Tyler, in a good mood, and I'm here with a good dude. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it.
Yeah, get right on into it as kids across the local area continue their summer. Those last few weeks, squeeze whatever bit of time they have left before they go back to school to have as much fun as possible. That includes out on the football fields and the soccer fields and basketball courts, enjoying sports and learning some lessons along the way, including as they play flag football with West Bloomfield Parks. Our reporter Peyton Skyver has more.
Flag football, a sport that is often overlooked, is growing in popularity across the country and right here in the greater West Bloomfield area. That is why kids of the community are here at Drake Sports Park this week for a flag football camp hosted by WB Parks and taught by skilled instructors from Fun Time Sports. This camp is teaching these young athletes the basic fundamentals of flag football in a fun, friendly, and safe environment.
So he's obviously, a young boy getting super into football, but being young and with a lot of the injuries that are coming out of tackle football, flag football is kind of the happy medium for safety and fun of the sport, and I think it's a good kind of segue into, do I truly like football? Do I want to go to the next step? Or is this just going to be a hobby that I kind of maintain throughout my life? We've actually been utilizing the WB Parks summer camps for 4 years now. This will be our 4th year. We usually just do Camp WB, but he's recently gotten super interested in sports. So we've actually taken the opportunity of having some other options and being able to be a little bit more focused on his interests.
We're actually setting up cones as we speak right now, going through certain drills just to help them hone in on certain skills that are needed when it comes to playing flag football, i.e. being able to run with the ball, being able to actually reach for the flags as opposed to grabbing people's shirts and things like that. And so the actual idea of like what it takes to actually be able to play flag football more effectively and efficiently, and while simultaneously actually boosting the idea of like what it feels like to be on a team. So Fun Time Sports is an organization that's devoted to helping to instill teamwork, camaraderie, that sort of thing when it comes to the actual essence of sport, right? So we actually do flag football, t-ball, baseball, soccer, basketball, gymnastics. Yeah, so it's all about reaching out to the youth to make sure that they're like equipped for the world of sports moving forward.
Sportsmanship is obviously one of the big qualities we want to make sure he's getting from any camp he goes to. Camaraderie is also one, making new friends. He's actually met a couple kids at summer camps that he's gone on to be in school with in the fall. So, being able to have those personal connections.
I really hope that they take away the idea that it's like when you're in a space where you're actually able to work with other people, it's extremely important to work together, to be able to cooperate and be able to also effectively communicate, because those are the things that I think we need more of in the world as adults, and those are the things that are very well learned and able to be honed upon moving forward.
This camp was a great way for these kids to not only learn more about flag football, but to get outside for some exercise and fun. To learn more about future events and camps, go to wbparks.org or to funtimesports.org for more information. With Civic Center TV, I'm Peyton Skyver.
Appreciate the report, Peyton. And of course, you can learn more about all these different programs through West Bloomfield Parks, including flag football and so many other sports programs still underway in these next few weeks as we wrap up the summer and even throughout the rest of the year on wbparks.org. On the topic of flag football, however, across the metro area here in southeastern Michigan, the Rally for Good program, which was launched earlier on this year when the NFL draft was in Detroit through the Detroit Sports Commission and Gen Youth. They've launched a program to support young athletes in dozens of Metro Detroit communities across Wayne, Macomb, and Oakland counties, providing starter kits for flag football programs to 140 middle schools schools across the local area, hoping to spark new programs and teams arising at these schools as the sport continues to grow worldwide. The Olympics begin today. Well, they've already begun, but the opening ceremonies are today. And 4 years from now, in Los Angeles at the 2028 Olympics, this is going to be one of the featured sports. It will be one of the new sports in 2028. So this initiative coming close to home here in Greater West Bloomfield as flag football programs through the Detroit Sports Commission and Gen Youth are being supported across our local area. Now, the initiative, which was launched back in April, closes at the beginning of August. August 2nd is the last day for that initiative. So plenty of time still to donate to their initiative and help them provide the funding that's necessary for flag football programs across our local area. What's even more special about that is the rally through Gen Youth and the Detroit Sports Commission, the Rally for Good program's actual rally itself is taking place at the end of August, August 21st, and the winner of that rally will be rewarded with a trip to the Super Bowl later on this year, actually early on in February of 2025 in New Orleans. So plenty of more information on this and opportunities to help provide flag football programs like what we just saw with West Bloomfield Parks across Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties on alltrue.com/flag. That is all alltroo.com/flag for more information and to donate. Kevin, a great way to help grow this game, and like Peyton got out of the coaches and the parent in that segment with us just earlier on, a chance to grow the life lessons and the athletics lessons that kids learn from participating in games like this.
And camaraderie, Tyler. That's one thing that I love when I play sports. The camaraderie that you have with your friends, meeting new friends, building that bond, and going through those games together to come out with the win. And I love the perspective that the parent had just about, hey, we're just going to use this as a gateway to see if they are really interested in the sport before it gets to that second level of physical tackling and things of that nature. So I love this initiative for middle schoolers all across Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne County. It's a great start for them.
Yeah, flag football, a rising sport in our local area. We know in the Birmingham School District, there was a fight last year for girls flag football to become an official sport at that school, and there's some discussion in the MHSAA about whether to institute flag football as a sport that's recognized in a regular season going forward. So plenty more on flag football surely to come in the months and years ahead. In traditional tackle football, West Bloomfield High School alums were stars in Indianapolis this week at Big Ten Football Media Day. That includes a couple of reigning national champions in Donovan Edwards and Macari Page from the University of Michigan. Macari, often soft-spoken, put some fuel to the fire, actually, in the rivalry between the University of Michigan and the Ohio State University Buckeyes. Here's how he described that rivalry at Big Ten Media Days.
A dub, a win, and then the rivalry, of course. We respect them all year. But in the game, you could, do a little disrespect in the game. But off the field, we respect them, though.
Been a long time, Kevin, since the Ohio State Buckeyes were able to defeat Michigan in the game, often the last of the regular season for both of those teams. So, hey, look, you can talk a little bit of trash, and Macari Page doing that in sort of a softer version. I mean, you normally get out of that rivalry, but still not enough to spark some flames as we get into the regular season pretty soon.
Yeah, and while we're addressing rivalry, let's head over to the table from East Lansing, where WB alum Dylan Tatum was asked for his thoughts on Donovan Edwards, Michigan winning a title, and their close relationship.
Me and Don, we talk at least once a week. He's a great guy. Nice run, but good luck to you, man.
Yeah, Dylan and the Spartans, of course, hoping to finally get over the hump and beat Donovan's Wolverines after a few years of, let's say, struggle to score more points than the other team. Yeah, it's been a little bit tough to come by for the Spartans, including last year's game at Michigan State. Finally, Donovan Edwards of the University of Michigan, one of the biggest stars in college football today, spoke to the Big Ten Network about the pressures of being a star athlete and, of course, a student, especially as a star athlete on the football field at a prominent university like Michigan, and all the work that he's done to continue his advocacy for mental health awareness, both for athletes and for everyday civilians like you and I.
Last year, it was kind of like a struggle for me, and I've had an emotional roller coaster all of last year. But I had like Freddie J, Mike Hart, Coach Moore, Jared Wangler. Shout out to my boy Jared. Those guys like really helped me out in my process of just my emotional roller coaster. So, I'd be doing a disservice if I wasn't being vulnerable to the world and, just saying like, oh, I did it this way and, I just stayed strong. No, like it was sometimes like where I cry. It was sometimes I came into the meeting room mad, and that's perfectly fine. But, the thing that I could say is I didn't allow that to affect the team. I'll be doing a disservice to the world, and to younger generations and even older generations than me, that we all struggle, but it's not okay just to feel sorry for yourself. Like you have to overcome it, because I'm a believer that the struggle that you have is just a test of your character.
The University of Michigan kicks off their regular season on August 31st at the Big House under the lights, 7:30 p.m. kickoff against Fresno State. As for the Spartans, they'll have their first beautiful day for football at Spartan Stadium on Friday, August 30th, 7 p.m. kickoff against Florida Atlantic. As for the L-Boys, Kevin, the Lakers kick off their season at home on Thursday, August 29th, at 7 o'clock against Chippewa Valley. Same start as they had to the season a year ago, except this time, instead of at Wayne State, it's right here in West Bloomfield. And it's family fun night at West Bloomfield High School to start off the season. Usually a few weeks in. This time, they're kicking it off with all the fun just before Labor Day weekend, Thursday, August 29th at 7 p.m. More on the Lakers' upcoming season later on in the program. Kevin, as we go from sports to art, a local art collective is looking for some new people to join their team.
Yeah, art sale applications currently open, looking for local artists to come showcase their work. Art sale, just in case you don't know, will be at the Oakland County Farmers Market. That'll be Sunday, October 13th. It's a few months out from right now, but it'll be approaching very, very soon. Like we said, applications are open right now and being accepted for artists and crafters of all kinds right here in our local area. Now, essentially, it is free. And if you are looking for more information, there is no phone number, but there is an email address. So if you want more information, make sure you email artsail.keego@gmail. That's art, ARTSAIL.keego, KEEGO @gmail.com. Another great opportunity for our local creatives and artists to come together in our community, Tyler, and showcase their work to art enthusiasts in West Bloomfield.
And the benefit is you got plenty of time to get those applications in to join them at the farmers market this fall. And look, if you're wondering a little bit more about what art sale is all about, what you need to put forth in that application to make a strong application to join them at the farmers market, hey, maybe get out in the community at the next Keego Harbor Block Party. One more up for the summer in August. Art sale will be there, so you can talk to some of their artists about joining the group and maybe even joining them at the Oakland County Farmers Market. And if you can't wait that long for your art fix in the local area, this is your favorite weekend. The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show comes back on Saturday and Sunday this weekend on Powers and Daly Road in West Bloomfield Township. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. featuring some of the best artists from across the U.S. coming into our community here in Greater West Bloomfield. You will have to purchase tickets on site if you haven't pre-purchased them, but the good thing about parking is that there's plenty of that available for free right next door in the back half of the parking lot at Beaumont Medical Center. Sorry, the former Beaumont Medical Center is now known simply as the West Bloomfield Medical Center. You go and you pull into that parking lot, you drive right to the back half of that parking lot, you can park, and then there's an entrance right there into the art show. Otherwise, you can go in the other entrance, which is over on the other side by the post office and the former Powerhouse Gym or Orchard Fitness that was located there before. more. More information on the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show on hotworks.org or on Facebook at Hotworks Art Show. In addition, you can view a couple interviews we've had with some of their featured artists for this year's show right now on civiccentertv.com, as well as on our YouTube and Facebook pages. Here in Greater West Bloomfield, one of the biggest new additions to our community are some new apartment buildings right in the heart of the Orchard Lake Road corridor and town center. That includes the Apex Department of Development, which is going to be opening for new residents in just the coming weeks. Joining us now on the program to talk more about that project and its progress is Omar Eid, partner and vice president of development at Hunter Pasture, who developed this property. Omar, as we begin, give us an update on the status of Apex and where it's at right now as we get to the end of July.
So we'll be ready to open 1st of August. So a lot of movement happening on site right now, getting ready for our first renters to move in right at the beginning of next month.
And so as this was all coming together, what was the vision for this luxury apartment complex, and what sets that vision apart from other similar properties in the Oakland County area?
Sure. So, I think when we started the design and really just thinking through the project from the start, I think the goal was to really set the standard for premier rental living in Metro Detroit and just giving residents the highest quality of finishes, amenities, and service available in the market. And so, we're offering 212 units comprised of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. And on top of that, we're also offering those types of units with dens, which are, not very common in this market. So if you have a 1 bedroom, you can also look at a 1 bedroom with a den, or a 2 bedroom with a den, or a 3 bedroom with a den. And I think that's really critical right now because people want additional space. They may not need a full additional bedroom, but they want a place to work from home or work out from home or just have an additional setting just to relax. So that's something that really sets us apart. On top of that, just having first-class property management, first-class hospitality, that's something we really thrive for, to ensure that our residents are getting the best care and needs that they need.
Omar Eid is with us, partner and vice president of development at Hunter Pasture Homes, which helped to develop the Apex located on Orchard Lake Road. And from our research and our notes, you had some experience with developments in New York. How did that play into putting this development together right here in West Bloomfield?
Yeah, so I was in New York for almost 7 years. I was working for a high-end developer, building out commercial office. This was pre-pandemic, so office was a hot market in New York City. And really just focusing on build-outs for private equity firms, hedge funds, family offices, high-end restaurants, and retail. And a really, really important component of that was just real thoughtful attention to design and detail. Those were really critical. I think that it was important to carry over that experience into multifamily in this region.
And just to take a step back to beginning this process of developing the Apex apartments. Now they're going in on Orchard Lake Road. They're soon to open in our community. And we know Hunter Pasture's developed other more traditional residential homes in the greater West Bloomfield area in years past. But for an apartment complex, why did they consider West Bloomfield, and especially on that location on Orchard Lake Road, to be an ideal place to put this new complex in?
So, I think the Orchard Lake corridor is a perfect place for a community like the Apex. You have everyday amenities just a stone's throw away, whether it's, premier stores and restaurants. You have Plum Market, Whole Foods, Home Depot. You have great restaurants like J. Alexander, Stage Deli, Red Coat, Prime 29, Starbucks. And you have outstanding professional health care as well, with Henry Ford Hospital being less than 10 minutes away from the Apex. You're also, only 25-minute drive from Detroit, and then under 20 minutes from downtown Birmingham. So we think that it's centrally located and you have everyday amenities just around the corner. So it's really just the perfect location for this type of community.
Omar Eid is with us from Hunter Pasture Homes on today's edition of The Splash Live as they get set to open the Apex Apartments, a new luxury apartment complex on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield Township. And Omar, this is quite a significant change for that Orchard Lake Road corridor. It's been a lot of businesses in the past, car dealerships in the past, some natural landscapes and areas, shopping malls, and now you're not the only apartment complex that's moving in on that stretch of Orchard Lake Road. And so a lot of residents that come through the area, they think, okay, this is a major change because now it's bigger buildings. It's a little bit less of the natural landscapes that were previously behind those properties of the past. So how did you incorporate those natural landscapes and surroundings into this to keep that element that's so important to people in West Bloomfield and this property?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, on the farthest west end of the community, you have great scenic woodlands surrounding those units. We also retained, an award-winning landscape architecture firm in Grissom Metz to do all the landscape design on the building, throughout the ground floor and the 20,000 square foot amenity deck. So we're planting over 130 trees on the ground floor and over 1,000 shrubs and natural plantings. And then on that amenity deck, there's great landscaping area there just to really incorporate a nice green buffer because of its proximity into Orchard Lake. I think that residents are really going to enjoy and take advantage of all the natural landscape that's incorporated into this community.
And we know people want to move in to greater West Bloomfield. They want to be in West Bloomfield Township. And so as they're considering their options, why should they consider this apartment complex as one of those top options maybe, or the place that they ultimately go if they move to West Bloomfield?
Well, I mean, it's highly amenitized and there's high quality finishes throughout the entire building, whether it's within your unit or in any of the common areas in our amenities. I mean, we have an outstanding pool deck with outdoor lounges and fire pits. We have club rooms. We have a state-of-the-art fitness center that I think competes with places like the Equinox. You have a great coffee bar, private dining, chef's kitchen, dog washing stations, EV charging. We have a resident app that you get once you move in that makes it extremely convenient to do anything from paying rent to getting your renter's insurance to putting in a maintenance request to getting your groceries delivered to your unit, getting food delivered, getting a dog walker. It really just kind of covers everything that you would think of to really just enhance your living experience within the Apex.
Omar Eid is with us from Hunter Pasture, the developer behind the Apex Apartments, now located on Orchard Lake Road, set to open very soon and currently accepting applications as well. Omar, as you considered this, you mentioned some of the reasons why you ultimately developed this property on Orchard Lake Road and in West Bloomfield. But what about West Bloomfield do you believe is ultimately what is drawing people to this community and ultimately creating that need for some of these new apartment complexes like yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of people that really love West Bloomfield community. And I think that we're providing kind of an offering where maybe there's someone that is an empty nester, they're snowbirds, they've had a home for, decades in the area and they're looking to downsize. Well, we're really providing a new type of living community that makes it easy on them while they don't have to move and look at buying a smaller home. They'll have this option to kind of have a more convenient lifestyle still within the area.
More information on the Apex Apartments and including application information if you are interested in moving in can be found on theapexwb.com. Again, that is theapexwb.com. Omar Eid is with us, Vice President of Development and partner at Hunter Pasture, who developed this apartment complex right here in West Bloomfield. Omar, before we let you go, anything else that you think would be important for our audience to know about the way that this development came together, why this is such a special moment for us here in West Bloomfield as these get set to bring in some of our new neighbors?
I just think that it took years to really design and come up with the best programming, aesthetics, really just putting our shoes in our resident putting our feet in our residents' shoes to really just make sure that we're thinking of every single component and aspect to enhance the living experience for our residents. We're going to have a lot of community engagement through our building with our property management team, coming up with ways to promote resident interaction and engagement, whether it's having a pool party on our pool deck, different special events for holidays or anything happening related to sports or different other types of activities in the area. I think, we're going to have wine tastings, ice cream, socials, pool parties, all these different things that really kind of bring together the community, aside from just really enjoying all the other great amenities that this property has to offer.
1-bedroom apartments from 673 square feet to 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, up to 1,924 square feet available right now as we speak at the Apex in West Bloomfield. Omar, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Glad to have Omar on to give some insight and some big changes coming to the boulevard on Orchard Lake Road as you approach Northwestern Highway. Apex Apartments set to open in the coming weeks. In the beginning of August, the first residents will move in, one of the two big apartment complexes that are coming to Orchard Lake Road. So many changes across our community, Kevin. Impressive to see that right here in Greater West Bloomfield. As we mentioned earlier on, Kevin, the Olympic opening ceremonies in Paris begin tonight. And then over the weekend, the opening ceremony of the Maccabi Games, which is bringing athletes in from across the world to right here in Greater West Bloomfield.
It's a good point, Tyler. The JCC Maccabi Games, the largest Jewish youth event globally, drawing 1,200 teens, Jewish teens from across the globe. And it's a very, very interesting event being right here in our backyard, July 28th through August 2nd. And with us right here on the Splash Live to talk more in depth about the Maccabi Games, we have Maccabi Games participant and West Bloomfield resident Shay Chismody joining us on the Splash. Thank you for being here, Shay.
Hi, thank you for having me.
First and foremost, Shay, being an athlete and wanting to participate in the JCC Maccabi Games, what drew your interest to even want to be a part of this first and foremost?
Well, my mom really pushed it towards me and my brother and sister. Like, it's like showing your abilities and like your sport that you really enjoy, and you like you get to play against other Jewish players around the world that come to Detroit, and we could represent, because Detroit, we're getting up there in the world.
There you go. Exactly. And just like you said, we got to represent. They're coming into our homes, and we want to show them whatever they thought of our Metro Detroit area. We want to let them know that this is way, way better, and we're doing great here. But with you participating in the Maccabi Games, there's a bunch of different activities that'll be going on here. Can you just talk about how you actually prepare mentally and physically to participate?
Well, mentally, just give yourself a pep talk, stuff like that. And then physically, go out and practice. You can go out with your friends, teammates, coaches, whoever you want. And just be prepared for the week ahead.
So we're actually talking about a few different sports, if I'm not mistaken, including boys and girls, team sports, basketball, soccer, volleyball, ice hockey, dance, golf, swimming, table tennis, tennis. What games will you be participating in?
I'm going to be participating in tennis. And then my brother, he's going to be doing soccer. And then my sister, she's doing dance.
Ooh, all across a family that does it all. I love that. I love that. Very athletic. With us right here on the Splash Live, we have Maccabi Games participant and West Bloomfield resident Shay Chismody joining us to talk about the JCC Maccabi Games that will be happening July 28th through August 2nd right here in our community. Now, with this being a global event, Shay, it's not just people right here in West Bloomfield. We're talking about over 1,200 people. This is a huge magnitude event. What does it mean to you to be a part of an event that's globally, worldwide like this?
Well, it means like that you're part of something big. So it's like, it feels really good in your heart, like to say that you've been able to be part of something that grand in the world. And it only happens in Detroit, what, every 2 years when we host it or something like that? Yeah. Then Israel too.
Love that. Okay, man. I love your attitude towards that, Shay. But with that also being said, a lot of different people being there, a lot of different personalities. Do you have any favorite memories from any of the games that you've participated in?
Well, I haven't participated in yet. This is my first year.
Oh, okay. My mistake on that. So this being your first one overall, what are your expectations?
Well, my expectations are like to have a really fun week with Jewish kids global coming here. And then for the two boys that we're hosting at our house, I'm hoping to really connect with them and have a good week with them.
I love that. I love that you have that, like I said, mentality of going out there, not only having a good time, but having camaraderie, meeting other people from different areas, different places of the world. I imagine that's going to be such a great experience also. And with us right here on the Splash Live from Maccabi Games participant and West Bloomfield resident, we have Shay Chismody just talking about being a participant in the Maccabi Games overall. Now, can you just talk about how you feel like being involved in events like this that are right here in our community kind of helps our West Bloomfield community?
Yeah, so it helps the West Bloomfield community by putting it on a map, a huge map of the world. So more people, let's say that they're coming from Los Angeles. And so I know that the two boys that we're hosting at our house, they're from northern Los Angeles, so the city over is Malibu. And they've never been to Michigan before. So I know they're really looking forward to coming to Michigan and West Bloomfield. And I know we're going to take them downtown after LCA on Monday night.
Okay.
We're going to walk around, show them all around downtown. So it should be really fun.
There you go, Shay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I love that. That's just what we started off talking about. Show them that the Metro Detroit area is 10 times better than whatever they thought it was. So show them a great time, Shay, man. Be that advocate. I love that. So we're also experiencing the start of the 2024 Paris Olympics simultaneously with Maccabi Games. Any parallels that you see there, or how does it feel knowing that you'll be participating in the Maccabi Games simultaneous with other athletes participating in the Olympics?
Well, it feels like a grand statement to say that you're an Olympian for the Jewish Olympics. So when I like tell my friends that I'm going to be in the Jewish Olympics or the Maccabi Games, they're like, "Oh my God, so cool! How do I come and watch?" So we gave them all the information with their credentials and stuff. So I'm looking forward to having supporters too. So it should be really fun.
Absolutely. Yes. And before we get out of here and let you go, Shay, tell more people the more details about Maccabi Games if they are interested in spectating, how they can do that also.
Yeah, so you're going to go on the JCC website. You're going to click Maccabi Games. And then you're going to scroll down the bar with the three dots. And you're going to click Be a Spectator. And then you have to put in a bunch of information like address, what sports you're going to be spectating. And then if you want, you can get a parking pass if you're going to be there all day. Like I know we did. So, yeah. So we're going to be going crazy all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, go crazy. Go crazy, Shay. I love that, man. Hey, thank you again, Shay, so much for your time and telling us a little bit more about the Maccabi Games and what we can expect. A global event happening right here in West Bloomfield, which will be July 28th through August 2nd. Maccabi Games participant, West Bloomfield resident, Shay Chismody. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yeah. And just like we talked about, Tyler, it's running simultaneous with the Olympics. I think that makes it 100 times better. And just like Shay said, this is basically the Jewish Olympics, and it's being held right here, not only in Michigan, but literally right here in our backyard. I love that. I love that he's advocating for being a great Metro Detroit resident also, and showing other people a good time.
Yeah, and it's all happening right here in our local area, coinciding with the Summer Olympics. Couldn't be more hype around worldwide sports right now, bringing people together, and that's certainly happening right here in our community. If you want to learn more information about the Maccabi games, MaccabiDetroit.com is the website. Their opening ceremony is going to be on July 28th, the games begin July 28th and run through August 2nd. So all throughout next week, there'll be plenty of sports right here in the greater West Bloomfield area for you to enjoy if you want to participate. Then after the Maccabi games and the Olympics comes football season, including high school football season right here in the greater West Bloomfield area. We told you previously that the Lakers are kicking off their season with Family Fun Night on Thursday, August 29th against Clinton Township, Chippewa Valley, back at the Swamp. In the meantime, they're spending the rest of their summer getting prepared for that first game as they try to bounce back after nearly making it to the state championship game in 2023. Joining us to preview this upcoming season as the team continues their summer workouts is head coach Zach Hilbers. Coach, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, of course. Good morning. Good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on as you get ready for this upcoming season. It's an interesting time of the year because now we're starting to see the whole football world start to wake up as we approach the fall. The Lions started training camp this week. Your team's been doing workouts throughout the summer, and you're doing your summer workouts now, I understand, on Fridays through August when you can start having those more formal practices. How does this time of the year start to change the dynamics in your locker room with your players as they get ready for the school year and, of course, the football season?
Yeah, I mean, you probably described it the right way. The dynamics definitely change. And, it's funny. We kind of always get in this mentality, at least like, football coaches, where we're allowed to do some stuff in the spring, not football related, but, you can lift and run and condition and stuff like that. So do small group workouts. So we could do it just because you get excited. And going from spring to summer, you're basically just kind of waiting for that calendar to turn so you can do a little bit more. And, so all summer we've been doing what we're supposed to, just doing a little bit more, adding and building and trying to get better. And now we're in that similar boat. Like we just want that calendar to turn to second week of August this year. We can kind of really get after it and start our training camp. And it's it's a delicate balance because I'm of the belief enjoy the present, enjoy every day, enjoy the process. But at the same time, we're pretty excited to get to I guess that next turning of the page, which is a couple weeks away.
And it's tough, too, as you're getting ready to not look back at your success from last season and look forward to this season, the schedule you have, the talent you have coming back, and think, much like the Detroit Lions as they start their training camp and they look back on being inches away from the Super Bowl and your team being literally one play goes your way, you are in the state championship game. So how do you balance that as you get ready for a season? And much like the Lions, use that as motivation of, we can get back there, but we got to work really hard right now to make that happen.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You use it as motivation, or at least you try to, but you also have to really drive home this understanding that we were 2 seconds away, like you mentioned, but there's no guarantee you're ever going to be in that situation again. It's so hard just to get to, where we got last year. So if you want to be, one play better and get one step closer to your goals, you got to work really hard, and I think the way the last season ended for us being so close, kind of like you mentioned with the Lions, you think oh, we're just, that close. If we do that much more, it's you have to do this much just to get the opportunity to do that much more. And, dealing with kids, you really have to drive that point home almost weekly. It's all these days out here when it's hot and we're out here running and sweating, it's just to get an opportunity to make that extra play.
Yeah, it's tough, too, because in the state of Michigan, as football continues to grow and expand and become much like it is in Texas and in California and in Florida, where it is the big game of the year, the big season of the year, it's tough for people to sometimes take that step back and remember that these are kids still learning the game.
Yeah.
So how does that also factor in as you're not only teaching kids the game, but you're also developing players that are really, really talented at this level of their football career.
You know, it's something I learned as I've been doing this for a while now, maybe 15 years ago or so, is when you had really talented players who were younger. So they're high school kids, they're all young, but like younger. Sometimes you get a really talented 15-year-old. And for some reason, you know, when we're adults, we think like, wow, they're so advanced in this part of their life. They should be advanced in other parts, whether it's maturity or, you know, just handling adverse situations, all that stuff. And a lot of times that's not the case. Like you have to teach those skills, or they have to, like, you know, go through stuff to learn them, like we all do. And it's a good, like, refreshing lesson every year. That's like, you can be really good, but like you said, that they're kids and they go through the same stuff that all their kids do, and their heads are all over the place. And we do our best to try to, you know, like you said, get them pointed in the right direction, teach them some values, and you know, then also, like, hopefully become better football players. And if we do it right, you know, I think it can all coincide. Like all the goals can align in the same direction if done the right way. But it's always like, it's a delicate balance, because it's you want to push them as hard as you can towards our common goal, but also have the understanding, like, a lot of these guys are young and they're just like figuring it out. You know, I'll be the first to say, like, I was an idiot when I was 16 years old. So a lot of them are a lot further along than I am. But, you know, like it is always like a delicate balance for sure.
We're joined by Zach Hilbers, the head coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team. Their season kicks off August 29th at 7 o'clock. That's a Thursday game. Family fun night from 5 to 7. Before that, at Lakers Stadium against Clinton Township, Chippewa Valley. We'll have coverage for you on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM leading up to the game and the game itself as well on that Thursday night before Labor Day weekend. And Coach, as we talk about that day coming up, and we think about the last couple of seasons, and much again like the Lions in Detroit and the support they have as their team continues to regain some sense of success. Your team has been in that mode for a number of years. How does the community support not only help you and your coaching staff continue to build this program, but also help those players have that extra layer of motivation as they go through what, again, is looking like a very tough schedule this year?
Yeah, schedule will be really hard, and it definitely helps quite a bit to have the community support. We've had pretty good support the last few years. Probably the last 10 or 12 years from our community, and it makes a difference. Just when you show up to home games, and you know you have people there like that, you know, have your back. I guess, you know, that are fans. They're supporting you. And the Family Fun Night's always been an awesome event. This is the first time I think that I can ever remember. It's our first game of the year, and it just kind of went with how the schedule went for us and our way our home games were spaced out. So we hope that, you know, it's a really big event again, and it's awesome for kids. Our district does a great job bringing like all the elementary schools together for that one, and it's usually really well attended. And, you know, I think it could be a real cool, like, kind of cute culmination to everyone's summer. You know what I mean? Like, we are going to be back in school that week as a district, but you know, that first week goes by in a blur. It's a 4-day week, and it's kind of, I don't know, just getting everybody back in the mode of going to school, hopefully. So hopefully it's another great event, and, you know, people are there in full force.
Yeah, it really shows the full scope of our community, from all these different organizations and all the different clubs in the school. And then you get to see a great football game and one of the prides of our community in the West Bloomfield Lakers football team. Again, August 29th, 7 o'clock kickoff for the football game. Family Fun Night will begin at 5 o'clock and run right up to just before that game. And Coach, before we let you go, I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier on in our show, the day that you and I have been interviewing. Donovan Edwards, Dylan Tatum, Maccabi Page, all featured at Big Ten Media Days earlier on this week. We heard some clips of Dylan talking about his relationship with Donovan, Maccabi Page talking about the competition between Michigan and Ohio State, and Donovan Edwards taking a step forward, continuing to be an advocate for both student and athlete and general mental health. How are those role models setting the tone for your team today of what it takes to be a great Laker, but also be a great football player and young man going forward?
I mean, we're really fortunate to have a lot of guys playing football at the next level that people can turn on their TVs and watch. But to have like those three specifically that you mentioned, that are obviously really good football players, but there's a reason they were selected by their teams to be up there and represent their schools at media day. I'm pretty sure each school only brought 3 players, out of a team of whatever it is, 85. And that's because they just do stuff the right way. I mean, Maccabi has been like that since I can remember him. Like, he came in as just a quiet, like as a 14-year-old kid, like a quiet, hardworking kid that just, frankly, just did everything right. Everything. He was a model student, polite, worked his tail off in every capacity, and it's been awesome. And, Dylan was a lot of that way too, and Donovan was probably the hardest worker we've had as a football player. And, his maturity process the last 6, 7, 8 years has been unbelievable to see. And I mean, they're there for a reason. So our kids definitely look up to those guys. Like, they reach out to me and say, "Hey, did you see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I saw it." Like, I was watching it, and any of us that coach them, because it's been a lot of us since those guys came in as freshmen, like, we're all proud of them. And, we just hope that they just keep going forward with, football or whatever their life goals are.
Yeah, so many great Laker legends are going to be playing at a high level this year and being impact players. We talk about Maccabi and Donovan, and we talk about Dylan Tatum. Samaj Morgan also expected to be a big pivotal player this year. Amir Herring moving on to Kansas. Maxwell Hairston, best hands in the land over at Kentucky, going to be one of the top D-backs in the entire country. So plenty to be proud of for Lakers as they look at Laker Nation as they look at the college football season, professional football, and of course, close to home with our high school team. Coach, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on our continued coverage of West Bloomfield Laker football right here, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, as well as, of course, across our social media. One more time, the kickoff of their season, Thursday night football game here in West Bloomfield, August 29th against Clinton Township, Chippewa Valley, and they got a tough schedule this year. They're going to be going on the road for those next 2 weeks after that. They got road games against Rochester Adams, Clarkston, Birmingham Seaholm, and Roseville right before playoff time. Going to be a very competitive season for the Lakers. Here in the West Bloomfield area, a chance for you to get some of your questions answered by a doctor and learn more about ways you can engage actively in maintaining your health across the board. Walk with a Doc is having the opening of their local chapter in West Bloomfield in August. In fact, Saturday, August 10th at 9 a.m., their inaugural walk event will happen at Drake Sports Park. Here to talk about this with us is the founder of the local Walk with a Doc chapter, Caroline Beal. Dr. Caroline Beal with us on the Splash Live. Dr. Beal, thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on as we get ready for this local chapter to open and the first of many of these events coming up in the greater West Bloomfield area. Let's first begin. Tell us about what Walk with a Doc is all about.
It is a nonprofit organization that was developed or created by a cardiologist. And the whole premise is getting community together to walk together with a physician, get their questions answered, learn about health topics in a very friendly and safe environment, and also working on their fitness at the same time.
And it's a great opportunity, as you said, to not only work on the fitness, but get those questions that they may have answered. And what's great about this, too, is that it's free. So, what prompted you and others in this local chapter to grow this here now in greater West Bloomfield?
I've actually been wanting to launch a Walk with a Doc chapter for quite a while. And I'm just really drawn to the mission of community health conversations and really just getting people moving. My background is in sports medicine, and just the idea of having more people come together to walk in the park, it just sounds magical to me.
So take us through one of these Walk with a Doc events, because it's not just an opportunity to ask your questions, but it's also to meet other people, to get some exercise, to get out in the community. So how do one of these different events work so that you can get all those different questions answered for all these different people?
Yeah, so it starts with just an introduction, typically just a 5-minute talk on different health topics, and that can range from kind of your basic primary care type topics to more of the sports medicine or pain related. I specialize in treating chronic pain, so I tend to talk a little bit more about that. But we start just with 5 minutes there, and then we do a quick 3 to 5 minute warm up. And I have some physical therapists that are coming to help lead that. And then we just start walking or rolling or however you would like to move through the park. And people can kind of break off into groups. They can walk on their own and just kind of meeting other people in the community. And I've invited a lot of other physicians to come. And my hope is that people can walk with various physicians and learn about different areas in medicine.
So why do this on the move? The walk element of it is a really important part of Walk with a Doc, but what does that add to this sort of a setting for the general public?
I think the biggest thing is the health benefits and getting people moving. For some people, maybe they haven't been doing any physical activity, and it's just that first step toward a life of more physical activity. And so, we always talk about the health benefits of exercise, but it doesn't have to be running a 5K or hitting the gym every day and lifting a bunch of weights. It really can be going for a walk, and consistently, if you're walking, you're going to see the health benefits.
More information can be found on walkwithadoc.org. You'll be able to search for local events here in our area and find the one that's happening at Drake Sports Park. That's going to be happening on Saturday, August 10th at 9 a.m. and it is a free event. Anybody can attend and get those questions asked from their local doctor. Dr. Caroline Beal is with us, one of the founders of the local chapter now starting here in Greater West Bloomfield of Walk with a Doc. Before we let you go, anything else that we should know about this going forward, or plans for maybe some future events, maybe how regularly we can expect some of these to pop up?
This is a monthly walk. I have aspirations and involving other physicians that could bring their whole cohort of patients. And I have this vision of these kind of clumps of doctor-patient panels walking around. I think that would be just super special and just a great way for people to interact in the community and enjoy the beautiful park that we have there.
Walkwithadoc.org. You go to that website, you click on Join a Walk. You can put in West Bloomfield Township or put in your zip code here in the local area, and you'll find our now local chapter here in Greater West Bloomfield and be able to meet doctors like Dr. Caroline Beal with us on the Splash Live. Dr. Beal, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you on the show. Again, walkwithadoc.org. The very first of these walks, Saturday, August 10th at 9 a.m. at Drake Sports Park here in West Bloomfield Township. Plenty more to get to on the program here on the Splash Live today. Some things coming up that will be fun. You should mark your calendars for. Some other information you need to know. And, of course, some fun conversation across the Greater West Bloomfield area. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hi, I'm Kelly Heyer, Executive Director for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Civic Center TV, for your amazing coverage, always making sure our parks and facilities and our programs shine. I'm Kelly Heyer, proud to be 1 in a million.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. We thank you for joining us on this Friday edition of the program. Now, as you get ready for your weekend, looking for some fun things to do out and about, why not bring the dog, bring your leash, and meet some other friendly people and their friendly pets right here in Greater West Bloomfield. K9 to 5 is hosting one of their K9 community walks this weekend, Sunday, July 28th at 9 a.m. along the West Bloomfield Trail. This is with K9 to 5, the fourth Sunday of every month. They hold one of these events here in the local area. One of their local stores based out of Commerce joins in the Greater West Bloomfield as well, and you can bring your pets out to this event. It is absolutely free to enjoy, and so get your pets out for a sunny weekend afternoon here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Morning in the Greater West Bloomfield area, and join them out on the beautiful West Bloomfield Trail. Then down the road in Keego Harbor, maybe you want to start your weekend off with a little bit more of a relaxing tone after a stressful week. The perfect place to do that, right outside Keego Harbor City Hall at Rose Sorter Park and under the gazebo. 9 a.m. on Saturday, Erica from Sunyata Yoga will be taking the coaching role there as she leads a yoga class for anyone in the community for free as part of the Keego Connect initiative in the summer of 2024. All you need is a yoga mat or something similar, and of course everything else is just following along. If you don't have a yoga mat, it's just maybe a beach towel. You know, some people have gone out there in the recent events with just a beach towel. That's been plenty enough, some separation from the ground, some place to call your space as you are practicing yoga in the heart of the lakes. Plenty more events through Keego Connect coming up, including some disc golf walkthroughs, including, of course, reading in the park with the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, and those Keego Harbor block parties. Just one more left. It's hard to believe we're almost at the end of the summer. That's all available on their Facebook page at KH Parks. Learn more information and how you can get involved in helping Keego Harbor build new events going forward to keep the community engaged and having fun in the city of Keego Harbor. Now, it's also almost time to go back to school. We talked about it with Coach Hilbers earlier on in the program. Kids are getting ready to get back into the swing of things so that when they get back into school on day one, they're able to hit the ground running and have another successful school year. That's especially going to be important in our community, Kevin, this year, because kids are going to be switching to different schools with the reduction of Roosevelt Elementary School from the West Bloomfield School District, schools shifting around across to 4 elementary schools, some of those moving to different locations, including Chico, as they rebuild those going forward through the new bond. So lots of changes, and the kids need to have what they need on day one, those backpacks, those books, those notebooks, pencils, and pens, and not every kid has that available to them when they arrive to school on day one. So Spirit of Grace Church in West Bloomfield is hoping to bridge those gaps. They're ongoing, holding a school supply donation drive at their church, hoping to fill 20 backpacks for both boys and girls as they get ready to go back to school this fall, both in Greater West Bloomfield and in surrounding areas. All of those different items you can think of: pens, pencils, notebooks, crayons, markers, colored pencils, all these other things you may need, erasers, pencil sharpeners, whatever you may think a kid may need in terms of school supplies, those can be donated. You can even learn more information from Spirit of Grace by either stopping by as you drop off these items, 2399 Figa Avenue, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., as well as before and after their Sunday worship, which is at 10 a.m. Or, of course, you can learn more information on their website, spiritofgrace.church, or on Facebook at Spirit O' Grace. Kevin, a great way for people to get involved and help the kids out in these final weeks of summer so they can go back and have a happy kickoff to the 2024-25 school year.
Oh, how important it is to enter the school year already prepared. Trust me, if you enter the school year unprepared, it's only going to set you back. So to get a little bit of help from members of the community to kind of help you get a head start, or at least put you on a level playing field with everyone else there. It's a great effort. It's a great initiative, and hopefully we can get even more than 20 backpacks out there if people can donate those with some supplies. It'll be a great thing.
Yeah, nothing like sending some kids back to school with smiling faces and the ability to focus on what they need to do on day one of the school year, just a few weeks away. Tough to believe. That is it for our programs this week. We've been glad to join you for 5 days, Monday through Friday. We'll do it again next week. In the meantime, CivicCenterTV.com to find us on demand, as well as on our Facebook and our YouTube pages as well. I want to thank our entire team at Master Control, Calvin Brown and Jake Schaff, alongside our intern Peyton Skyver on her final day with us at Civic Center TV. Wish her the best of luck as she heads back to my alma mater, Michigan State University, in just a few weeks. Also want to thank Kevin McIntosh, and alongside him, I'm Tyler Keefe, thanking you for tuning in once again to The Splash Live.